Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us again today at the Daily Space Roundup. We're streaming every day at 1 p.m. Central Time, or as we call it, Starbase time, to bring you the latest and greatest news about Starbase and everything space-related. Today with me, I have Nathan. He is a huge space enthusiast and has background in aerospace engineering, and there he is.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to all the people who have been here before, and hello to everybody who's here for the first time. Like she said, I'm a huge space enthusiast, and it has been a good day for space enthusiasts because there has been so much news. Even for the most avid fans, it is hard to keep up at times. And today is just the past couple days has definitely been one of those times. We've had so many things happen at Starbase and off Starbase as well. And we're going to be talking about all of that. You can see a quick rundown, of course, up on the screen. That's basically some of the bullet points we're going to be talking about. And there is if we put all of the bullet points that we're probably going to talk about on the screen, it would take up the whole screen. There's just that much stuff that has happened in the past few days.
And if you just stumbled in here and are wondering what you're watching, so there is a huge rocket being built in Texas at the site called Starbase from Elon Musk. Company is called SpaceX. And we're going to cover what's new there. We've got live cameras there, so we can show you what insanity humanity is brewing up for us. And we're so far. So they're already through with the first prototype development, and we're going to talk about what's new with a V2, so version 2 prototypes that they're going to build, because we are giggling like little girls because we spotted something on X.
This is...
Yeah.
This is very true. And we could actually probably hop over to that now so we can start talking about it. Let's pull that up.
Nice.
So, so for those who don't keep up with it, keep up with Starship super avidly, this might look like just a normal nose cone. And I can promise you...
Huge rocket for everybody. Like, this is just the upper part of this huge rocket.
Yeah, this could fit about 15 of you in there, probably. Just, well, maybe 16. It's big. Even that tiniest part is gigantic. And really, it's hard to put a scale to a lot of the things that's going on at Starbase. But yeah, this is the latest part for a brand new line of ships that SpaceX is going to be building. So recently they've been testing essentially what are called the Block 1 or version 1 of their Starship rocket, which is supposed to be it's essentially the world's most powerful rocket and also the world's cheapest rocket at the same time. And you can see some of the numbers up there. It is ridiculously powerful, ridiculously large, and it's also supposed to be fully reusable, which no rocket has essentially ever attempted before. This is the first rocket to actually put a proper effort into being fully reusable. Probably the closest we've come is something like the space shuttle, and even that threw away the external tank. The big orange tank was thrown away after every launch.
Yeah. And I already see that we have some questions coming up. So thank you so much for watching with us. I already see some names that I saw like a couple of last times as well. Thank you so much for being here. It is a pleasure. And we, of course, have questions like, what will fly next, Starship or Falcon 9? That's a tough question.
That is a tough question.
Yeah. I hope Falcon 9, of course, because I mean, Starship is around the corner too. But this will still be the first version of the prototype that's going to fly next.
Yeah. And that Flight 5 is right around the corner now.
Yeah.
And SpaceX has been doing so much stuff, not just for the future flights with the V2 nose cone that we just talked about, but also just prepping for the 5th orbital flight test of this vehicle. It's been a roller coaster, indeed. They've done everything at this point.
Yeah. So you
They've
wanted
worked
to
on
jump
every
in
part
and talk further about the V2 Starship, the second version of the
Yes.
prototypes.
Definitely, because there is quite a lot to unpack here. Essentially the improvements that SpaceX has made between the first version or the first block of Starship and this one are drastic, and you can really tell the differences just by looking at if you see in the Starship before, you might be able to just spot these instantly, but we also have comparisons that fortunately the ring watchers and Lab Padre, also thank you to Lab Padre for getting all of these amazing images. Y'all rock. Thank you so much. So yeah, the majority of these images are going to be coming from them today because they have a camera that is perfectly positioned to catch things like this, and they happen to catch them.
And as said before, just before we came online here, like an hour ago or so, that's what we saw, and we were like, "Oh, we have to talk about it."
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So, what can you see on this picture that is like clearly different?
For starters, the first thing that really pops out is the fins. So you can see on the left. So the left is the older Block 1 version. That is what is currently flying. That'll fly on confirmed. It will at least be flying on Flight 5 and Flight 6. Flight 7 is up in the air due to some FCC filings, and we'll probably talk about that later because that is one of the changes we can see. But essentially, I lost my train of thought. Oh no.
So we have different flaps.
Yes, thank you. So we have very different flaps. You can really see the difference here between the first one and the second one. For starters, the shape. So we had actually seen these flaps before. We were able to catch them in a flyover. And essentially, these are a bit more angular, a bit better suited for the aerodynamic regime that this vehicle is going to be going through. But they're also smaller. So you can see, you can also kind of tell they're a bit thinner too, because SpaceX didn't need to make them as thick as they did. So SpaceX has been able to thin them, and thinning something down reduces the weight, which is...
It's lighter.
Exactly, yeah. Because the less things you bring up to orbit on the ship, the more things you can bring up to orbit in payload. So every pound that you add of ship is a pound that you take away from payload. It's a 1-to-1 ratio.
Do we have any idea how heavy such a flap is and how many humans we can like squeeze more into the Mars rocket now due to the flaps?
It's hard to tell, especially because even if the flaps may have gotten lighter, there may be some other parts that also got heavier and basically took up that extra margin that SpaceX may have gained. but it's likely that these are a significant improvement. But the majority
Yeah.
of these improvements are going to be coming less from the weight of the flaps and actually more from the location. And that is definitely one of the things that
Oh.
can that'll pop out a little bit.
Let me pull that up again.
Yes, thank you.
So here we have the one here.
Yeah. So you can see this is the original Block 1, the one that is currently flying. And there you have the Block 2. You can essentially, these ones are shifted further up, so closer to the tip of the nose cone. And SpaceX essentially did that for weight distribution reasons, because they want having those closer to the nose cone gives them essentially more control, and it increases the weight near the nose cone, which is something that SpaceX needs for control. Because if you have all your weight on the bottom and you're trying to re-enter flat, all that weight is going to want to keep going while the lighter part on top is going to want to stay, and you're just going to end up entering engine first, and your engines are going to melt.
We don't want that.
Which, yeah, it's not good. And that's also likely what happened on the third orbital flight test. Whenever it was spinning, it didn't have much control, and it likely ended up entering engine first and disintegrated.
So Malcolm Brown just said, like, I know it's no. Does anyone else think the new wing design makes Starship look weird? I think yes. So it generally reminds me of penguins anyway. And now these penguins have like wings that are even weirder attached. So yeah, it will take some time, but it can as well be that we got used to the first prototype version, that we think like, oh, our beloved prototypes that make us humans and tiny humans multiplanetary.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The truth is, for me at least, I agreed with you up until a couple hours ago, because on the renders, I do admit, yeah, they don't look that good on the renders, I will admit. And
let me real quick. Here we are. That's what we
there we
rendered.
Go.
It's not 100% accurate, as said, because we just saw the pictures, so we're gonna rework that for the next episodes. Possibly. Sorry, but Junie Kate has wrote penguin, possibly orca. Okay.
That's accurate.
The ship. Oh, sorry.
But yes,
Yeah,
I did agree with you for a
think
while.
about it too.
I did agree with you for a while, but seeing the nose cone now in like actual physical form has changed my mind a little bit, and now I think it looks really cool. And now looking at the old nose cone, just I don't know. I like the new one better now, just because like having the thinner flaps like further up towards the top, and also the other main difference is the heat shield. We can see it a bit on this render. We have the heat shield on the backside of the flaps. Turns out, at least for now, SpaceX didn't end up putting any layer on that. But overall, the general idea of the heat shield having changed is very accurate, and you can really see the improvements SpaceX has made looking at the first nose, like that the nose cone that we're comparing it to, by the way, is they don't state the
you mean on the tweet or what?
Yes,
Let me
on
pull
the
it up.
tweets.
Okay. Yeah, so
Sorry.
this one here. This one.
Yes. So
okay.
the from the looks of it, that does appear to be the nose cone for Ship 32. It's hard to tell for sure. That might be an earlier one like Ship 30 or 31.
Yeah.
But it is still technically a later in design prototype. And just looking at the heat shield, you can already see a big difference. Like one is much more gray, one is much darker. So clearly a different material, because this one likely has the new version 2 tiles already equipped. We've seen SpaceX replacing version 1 tiles with version 2 tiles on Ship 31, on Ship 30, which will be the ship that will fly next. But it looks like this ship is already equipped with those new tiles. And you can also see that they appear to be missing some tiles around the hinge as well. Those will likely be added, but if you
Yeah.
look at the original one, if you look at that hinge area, it is gigantic,
But
especially compared to the hinge for the new version 2.
and I have to say the version 2 hinge area looks so much cleaner, so I hope that just works out very well. This was very bulky with the old one. So and not just that this looks sleeker. We have one question and I'm always wondering about that too. So the killer whale vibe orca starship called version 2. Brian asked, no, you said it's gonna be orca colored. Okay. So somebody earlier asked if it's gonna be 30 feet taller. So we
Uh,
can look at this possibly
yeah.
because do we have the side? Ship height
So,
here.
yeah. Whenever it comes to ship height, it will be a few meters taller. So in feet, that would only be about 6 feet. But a
Yeah.
2 meter difference. A good rule of thumb for meters is 3 feet is roughly 1 meter. So 2 meter difference, roughly 6 foot difference. Um, so having so the ship is going to be a little taller, but not by a whole lot. And actually, let me pull our cameras off real quick so you can actually see
Mhm.
the version 2 Starship a little better from this. So this is actually officially from SpaceX. This was given during
Oh
their
yeah, we're in the way.
Starship presentation. Yeah, I had to move
Yeah.
our cameras off real quick. Um,
A- And here you can see the height. So me being originally from Germany, I'm not good with feet. I'm not a feet person. Like I need meters. No pun intended.
the yeah, it's a significant difference. Like it's roughly the height of a person in difference.
Yeah. Big person.
But
Not
yeah,
me.
a big person. But compared to the overall height of the rocket, and the total height is 124 meters. So a 2 meter difference is less is um,
Like
just barely over a 1%
seven
change in
feet,
height.
maybe? How many feet are
Yeah,
there? Yeah.
it's 6 to 7 feet if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Taller than
Yeah.
Felix is. So probably as tall as your door frame. So that
Mm.
much higher is, is the second version of the prototype.
Yeah. It's
As you can see here, like I mean, you don't have the person reference in that picture,
no, we
but
don't need a
it's,
person, we need a banana for scale.
I remember.
It's an engineering joke.
Yeah.
Engineers
So
like to use bananas to measure stuff for some reason. It's like we don't
I
use
don't know what
feet.
to say on that.
We don't use feet, we don't use meters. We use bananas.
So I've got a stupid joke now because I have to make it. So why can a nose never be 12-inch?
Why?
Because then it would be a foot. Yeah. All right. Let's use this as a segue after talking about the size of the V2 Starship.
Oh my gosh.
So, what if you just joined? We're just making jokes, and we just compared the first prototype version with the second prototype version of our awesome mouse rockets that Elon Musk is building at Texas. If you like the stream so far or are a fan of really bad jokes, please give this stream a like. Tell your friends to tune in. You might even see us back on screen.
Yes.
Would you like to give us a tour? Oh, hi. There
Hi.
we are again. Hi, Wei family. Um, so would you like to give a tour of Starship?
Oh, I'd love to.
Nice. I am giving out a really, really well-meant warning. I'll be on the controls right now at the camera. You can judge if I'm a good driver. So if you pull this up now.
Okay. It should be.
Here, yeah.
There we go.
There we go. We're back.
All
So
right.
what do we see here now?
So there has actually been a few changes from yesterday here as well. So just recently, SpaceX stacked the first section of the tower, and we had been waiting for this for a while.
Yes.
And SpaceX did not disappoint because right after they stacked the first section,
Yeah.
they had already moved to the second section, and the moment that first section had been even slightly bolted in, they detached it, and now the crane is hooked up to the second section.
Yeah,
So,
look at that. It's like 2.5 days
yeah,
from
roughly. I think it was like 3, but yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
it's
2.5, so yeah.
so let's
So,
see when they start stacking. So do you think or do you assume that they're gonna start stacking this today or more likely tomorrow?
good question. I honestly, I'm not even sure if they're gonna be stacking it anytime soon. So, it really is up in the air,
It's
what
not. It's
their
still on the ground.
plans.
You can see it. But I want to see it up in the air.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Yeah.
the we do
We
wanna see it up in the air,
yes.
but,
We don't
it
know when.
yeah, we're waiting to see the current plan. So, there are a few things they will need to do with this structure, um, although they will likely leave those till after the tower is stacked, so we could probably see it stacked any day now, uh, and
I
hopefully
would
sooner than
enjoy it.
later. Uh,
Yeah.
and but some of the things they need to do is they still uh, don't have all of the pipes hooked up, so they need to essentially the tower acts also as a way to fuel the ship, which is stacked on top of the booster, because you can't. It's you have to basically get the fuel up there somehow, and they're fueled after they're stacked. So it's important to have that there. So you need to install the pipes, and
Yeah.
right now they have the pipes installed, but they are not all connected. For the first tower, they essentially stacked it and then put the pipes in later.
So
So
complicated.
yeah,
Yeah.
they it was interesting to see them do it that way because it definitely made the tower construction take a lot longer. Because last I checked, it is much easier to build something when it is not 150 meters off the ground. But I
So
might be wrong. Maybe it's easier. Who knows?
if you real quick move over to my view of the screen again, I have like a zoom in video from
Yes.
John. Yeah, there you can see the difference. You have all the pipes already in there and all the connections that you just oops, let's do it again. Um yeah. I wonder how much heavier it is.
It is significantly heavier based
Yeah.
on at least based on a few things that we can see. So we don't know the exact weight of each of these sections, but what we do know is the weight of the carrying capacity that is
Yeah.
of the crane that is used to stack them. And you can see the crane that's being used to stack it there now. So the crane that was used to stack the first tower, the LR, I forget the exact numbers.
1100?
No, I believe
Was
the
it that one?
1100's the smaller one.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that, but I was like, no, that's definitely not right. It's Frankencrane. For anybody that was there
Yeah.
at that time, the nickname for that very large crane
Yeah.
was Frankencrane because it had a bunch of different sections thrown together. So this one is all yellow. That one was purple, green, blue, yellow, orange, all the stuff. So
Ooh,
Frankencrane.
real
But
quick. Hi,
yes,
Space Junkies. I gotta say hi to you, and you can see them tomorrow at 7 a.m. Starbase
uh,
time, right?
yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they do a morning show with What About It? So hello to them. Uh, And if you're interested in seeing that, of course, maybe while you're
LR,
having a morning coffee,
yeah,
if you're somewhere where
afternoon coffee,
time's a little different, whatever time it is for you, you'll probably enjoy it.
probably. So somebody, Lakatos says, sorry, I will not try to pronounce your last name. LR 11,000 even. That comes
Okay.
closer.
I okay, you're probably right. Because I was thinking of that, but I kind of second guessed myself because I was thinking that was the smaller crane. But if you
That
say
was
that's what
the
it is, I'll take your word for it until I see otherwise. Uh, but yes, that crane had a much lighter lifting capacity than the current Soren's crane. I forget how to
yeah.
pronounce it. But this one is this one has I believe I'm trying to remember the exact carrying weight, but it is a
Much more.
significant it's a significant amount over the Franken crane that is no longer at Starbase. A similar Franken crane, an LR 11,000, was also used over here at the Cape.
Oh yeah.
So
About the forgotten tower that's just
yeah,
been abandoned, that lost its orbital launch mount and is just standing here waiting for things to happen.
yeah.
So I want to find out how heavy one of those sections of the old tower and the new tower, and I hope I'm going to succeed. And if I do, I will let you know how much weight difference we're talking about per
Yeah.
section.
We do have a few ideas, and we can probably figure it out based off the weight the carrying difference between the old crane and the new crane, and we can guess that it's probably in that ballpark. But they might have also grabbed this new crane for a few other reasons, such as with the higher carrying capacity, it can likely lift in higher wind speeds. And for the first tower, that was a bit of a problem because they tried to lift tower sections and they just kept swaying in the wind. Because
Yeah.
Starbase is very windy, for those who are not aware. If you've
With the
ever,
past hurricanes.
yeah, and if you've ever listened into any audio around there, unless it has some very good sound, like
Yeah.
wind canceling, especially if you ever go there and pull out a microphone or try and record on your phone, the only audio you're really going to get is just
So we got
it's
some things in here. So Shea Colandry says Star Hook. It's easier to say. And Stephen Lewis says Kong LR 13,500. I almost said like 100 again, but it's 1,000. So it's definitely over 9,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was thinking it wasn't the 1100 because I'm pretty sure the 1100 is SpaceX's smaller crane that's currently used as a it's basically it's branded SpaceX and it's essentially their
Yeah.
permanent crane, if I remember
Even
correctly.
they
That
bought
was
it.
yeah.
And I've got a real quick fun story about that crane because when Felix and I moved to the US, we're both paramotor pilots and have a paramotor trike. And we sold this paramotor trike, I kid you not, to the person that went over and helped setting up the SpaceX crane at Starbase. And it was just the most mind-blowing thing. It was just,
Oh wow.
yeah, leap hair, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, just as a fun fact.
That is a pretty fun fact. I don't think I've been lucky enough to meet many people from around there just yet because I have not managed to get to see a launch, but that will change soon. Woohoo!
A sea launch, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like flight 5. You're gonna be there far enough
Yeah.
away.
It's just around the corner. And actually, we could probably take a look at the booster for Flight 5 if you want to
Please.
try and get the camera over to there. I'll pull up
Oh,
our live camera so you can see that. And
I
also,
will.
if you are interested in looking at any of these live camera views, We do also have a 24/7 live stream, which you can pop in anytime, any day, and there will usually be one of us in the stream. So if you also want us to point the camera at something else or somewhere else, you can just message us in the chat, and we'll probably be able to point the camera over there for you. So
I
if
just
you're interested in that,
went into the wrong direction. Apologies. I thought I'd be, looking from the road,
yeah.
but there was the other camera that we sadly had to take down. Okay.
Hmm.
Take a look at that.
There it is. So that is
Calm right now.
it is actually. For once, over the past few days, SpaceX has done so much stuff with this booster. This is the booster for Flight 5. I believe it's booster 12, if I remember correctly. I sometimes get my numbers mixed up a little bit, but I know the history of them. Even if I
When
forget the numbers, I know the history.
I'm sitting there with Felix and he's repeating like ship 30. Oh no. Yeah. And booster what? And now I got it mixed up as well. So who knows what booster is this? It is. Is it 12 now?
I
But I'm
believe it
here
is 12.
just here for the jokes though. Have
Yeah.
some fun with you.
So I'm pretty confident this is 12. But yes, they have been testing this booster almost nonstop for the past 3 days. Actually, 3 or 4 days, because they have had multiple uh, essentially tests they needed to get through. And the interesting thing is, some of them we haven't really seen before. So, for example, there was one where it appeared they filled the tank, filled the booster, but usually whenever they fill the booster with um, cryogenic fluids, they're essentially super chilled and they are as cold as they can possibly be. But for one of the tests, it appeared they didn't really chill the propellants as much as they normally would. We also didn't see much activity around the essentially the equipment that chills the propellant down more. So that was pretty interesting to see. And there's been some speculation about maybe it was a test related to landing, but it's really hard to say right now. So that was one of the tests. The next test was an igniter test, which is essentially where SpaceX lights es- lights the igniters in the engines. Which essentially, if you've ever taken a torch lighter, you know that little spark that gets it
Oh,
going.
not this one. Okay.
Oh no, you could actually,
This one goes like
yeah. It does use a spark to get it going,
yeah.
and that spark is similar to what SpaceX uses to ignite the
Oh,
Raptor engines. Only, actually, that what you held up is pretty. Yeah, that's
there we go.
actually the other one. The Starship model was actually a closer representation because
Yeah.
they use they essentially use a method very similar to that where it sprays hot gas into it. It's essentially a torch similar to one you might find to like heat things up or even light a grill, just
Yeah.
scaled up and made rocket grade essentially.
But I
S-
accidentally turned the spin prime test into a static fire.
yeah, sometimes that can happen. We actually saw that happen on one of SpaceX's previous boosters where they had a small spin up where they flowed some liquid oxygen and liquid methane through the engines, and they found a spark, and then poof. That was a
Yeah.
fun one. I believe that
That
was
was
trying to remember what booster that was. I believe it was booster 4 or booster 6. I don't even remember. Yeah, but it was fun to watch.
yeah.
Probably not fun for the engineers to watch, but fun for me.
Yeah. So for everybody joining in, we are looking at booster 12. Thank you so much for confirming at the orbital launch mount at Starbase, right next to the launch tower that we lovingly call Mechazilla, even though SpaceX is calling it what, Tower A now. I don't approve. I will say Mechazilla.
It is Mechazilla. It will always be Mechazilla. We can just call that the design of the tower. They are Mechazillas. It's plural now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mechazillas. So we have another question from Spaceflight X. And thank you so much for confirming it's Booster 12. Same as Steven. Thank you. So
Booster 7. Okay.
they say, I'm wondering if Flight 8 will be the last version 1 Super Heavy, because Flight 7 will be version 2 Starship, and Booster 14 seems to still be a version 1 booster. So hopefully B16 should be.
So it looks like as of now, well, if you look at the actual renders SpaceX has provided, whenever it comes to booster changes between Block 1 and Block 2 for the booster, the only real change is actually around the hot staging ring, which would be the forward dome. So
Let me real quick pull that up if you like.
yes.
There we are.
Here we go. So you can see, if you look at the booster, essentially the only major change that we can see, there
And
does
no,
appear.
as of now.
Yeah. There are also different grid fins, but those are pretty easy to swap out. They're essentially interchangeable. Maybe you might need to upgrade the motors a little bit if they're heavier or something, but yeah, those are pretty interchangeable, and they're usually one of the last things SpaceX installs anyways. But the hot staging ring is essentially the only major visible difference that we can see in the renders, at least, between version 1 or block 1 and block 2 boosters. So for all we know, this booster 12 could be a block 2 booster, or at least the equivalent of a block 2 booster. Just, hey, maybe they decided to not install the new hot staging ring, or trying to think.
I don't know. I'm always thinking they're so fast, so there must be other changes, of course, with the V2 boosters, because I mean they're changing everything. Not just that they changed the whole Godzilla. Thank you so much, Mr. Bird Wayne.
Oh, I
So he
think my
proposed-
computer might be crashing. So if I randomly dip out, that's why.
We'll be waiting for you. I'll keep y'all entertained. So Mechazilla is Tower A and Godzilla is Tower B. I think I heard it before. Was it from you as well?
Oh no, I'm calling Booster 12 Godzilla. Because that's the one that's supposed to perform the first landing.
Oh yeah, that would be crazy.
So it's Mechagodzilla versus Godzilla. We'll see which one wins.
Oh no. Yeah. Megazool, it's an irregular plural. Okay. Megazool. Yeah. If Nathan froze his PC, probably crashed. Maybe you can restart your camera or something, because I can still hear you fine.
Yeah, I think I ran out of memory. Oops.
All right. So yeah, and of course the booster will have more engines. That's what Spaceflight X. I should really invite you to stream with us here as well, because you're awesome. Oh, that you're talking about with version 3 Super Heavy? I thought they changed this with version 2. I'm mixing things up here. I'm so glad you're all with me here.
Sorry, changed what for version 2? Sorry, what did they change for version 2? I think I just got back in. Okay.
So Spaceflight X says version 2 still has 33, and version 3 will have 35 engines.
That's a good question.
I don't
I'm
have
actually unsure.
Here yet.
Maybe they could even have like a booster 2.5. SpaceX is known to do, or a block 2.5. SpaceX is known to do things like that. Okay, there we go. I should be back. I might be a little laggier because my computer is.
You have to mute
happy.
yourself in video real quick, please, because we're hearing you like a Godzilla, Mechazilla mix up. He forgot to upgrade his memory. Yeah.
I actually just bought new RAM, okay? The This won't be a problem again. I tripled the amount of memory I have. I just need to install it and
Oh yeah, here we are.
I'm
So we
busy.
have, yeah, here we can see the differences. But I see, did get smaller here? Or is it just not a finished render yet?
It might be, so these renders are not fully official. These
Yeah.
are the ones from our artist Vuper.
And they're a
S-
little older as well, so they don't have
yes,
all the latest information, but we always make the best out of the information that we got.
correct. So it is possible that Block 2 will have the 35 engines. We'll we know for we at least from what we can tell. Sorry to get my thoughts in order, but from what we can tell at Massie's, and we should actually have some pictures of it. We have a new can crusher,
Oh, just give me 1
which
second. There we go.
there we go. So you can
That picture is from, I think, 1.5 weeks ago.
yes.
So we have these. Oh, you can get them up to date already installed, and we're gonna have another flyover tomorrow, and then we can give you the latest and greatest.
Is it?
Yes.
Are we having one tomorrow?
We've got the flyover tomorrow, and then on Tuesday you can tune in here again at 1 p.m.
Ooh.
Starbase time, and then we can share them with you and
Yay!
what we found out.
I did not actually realize we had one tomorrow. I'm very
Yeah,
excited because I have been wanting one because there's been so much stuff that has happened just over
yeah,
the past 3 days. And if we had had one, if we had had a flyover 3 days ago, I would have wanted another one now already because there
right.
is just so much that has happened. It is absolutely mind blowing the
Yeah.
rate that SpaceX is going right now. I mean,
So again, when you're just joining, we just talked about the Godzilla Tower 2, Tower B. See, it confuses me. Updates at Starbase. Talked about the different prototype versions 1 and 2, and now we arrived at Massie's launch site. So please feel free to give the stream a like, talk to your wives, and make them watch the stream because I actually enjoy having like-minded people here and get them excited about spaceflight. And then maybe you can bring them down to Starbase and we can have a huge barbecue party or something. Like
yay.
a woman my dream. So here we are at Massie's.
Could
And
just
now what do we see here?
yes. So over at Massey's, we have our new can crusher, which is essentially that gigantic
This thing here.
uh, cage-looking contraption. So
Yeah.
as of now, we're not 100% sure on how this is going to work, but we can see a few things. For starters, on some of the points where those horizontal bars connect to the vertical bars, there appears to be a mount for what appears to be pulleys. So they might be
Ooh.
running, and you can kind of see the tip of one just poking over in that
Here?
picture.
Is that
Uh,
right?
no, it's down
No.
kind of right in the middle. So it's just barely blocked by the other. Yeah, so
Here.
like,
Ah.
yeah,
Yes. Is that right?
yes.
Okay.
Wait, I just realized I tried pointing on my screen like she was going to be
Yeah.
able to see that.
Oh, if we stream more often, I bet our mind link will get better.
Yeah. It's like I'll just be able to point to my screen and she'll be like, "Oh, okay, there."
Definitely.
So, yeah, we're not 100% sure of how every part of this can crusher is going to work, but we do know one thing, and that's that it will likely be used for block 2 of or block 3, assuming that basically whichever block of booster will have 35 engines. That is what is going to be tested here in this new can
Yeah.
crusher. Because during
Oh,
one of our flyovers, I'm not sure if we can actually spot it in that picture, but
there's a
during one
stream.
of our flyovers, we were able to essentially see a device that essentially holds Actually, let's see if we can see it in this photo.
Yeah,
I
like
believe
guide
it's
me.
Yeah, I believe it's already installed actually. So we're not able to see it here because it's already in the center of the can crusher ring. So essentially right
Real
where her
quick,
mouse is. Yes.
what else do we see here? So we have the new version of the can crusher. Real
Yes.
quick for everybody joining, and if you don't get a view at Massey's that often, this is the site where they test prototypes from now on. This was a
Yes.
shooting range once, and I visited and shot some guns now because the crazy Germans doing that when they come to the US, you know. And we have some really nice development here.
Yes. So these are also some older photos from
Yeah,
the flyovers at least. We will be getting new ones.
1.5
And
weeks.
yeah, and we'll
So
be talking about those. I mean, 1.5 weeks in SpaceX terms is
I
years
know.
at this
Yeah.
point. Uh, with how much stuff has happened in the last 3 days, it seems like daily a year passes.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
the
that we have a frame trench here that is something new as well. Just to give you an
Yes,
overview, because we didn't have that for the first flight, and it doesn't go so well. I'm curious to see, because this is actually pointed at Mexico, what the Mexican will say about that. I don't know how far this goes out in your test fire, those prototypes. But
uh,
what else do we have? What else do we have here?
yes. So in the photo, you can also see Ship 31. So since this photo was taken, it has been rolled back to the construction yard where
Yeah.
it should be receiving its engines now. So while it was here, it actually underwent cryo testing, and uh, during that cryo testing, it also had what are essentially hydraulic rams uh, uh, installed and hooked up to where the engines would normally be, and those rams essentially push on the engine attachment points to make sure the structure of the vehicle can withstand the power of SpaceX's Raptor engine.
Yeah.
And we'll using that we can basically see the layout of it is 3 and 3, so 3 for sea level and 3 for vacuum. And
Engines, you're talking now.
yes,
And those are Raptor 1 or Raptor 2 engines.
those are Raptor 2. Raptor, I believe, if, as far as I recall, Raptor 1 only was retired after Booster 4. So Raptor 1 actually never flew a full stack, as far as I remember. It flew during the early SN days with SN 8 through
SN
15.
days.
Yes. So
What is
those,
an SN day? Is that like a
uh,
holiday, or for
yes,
everybody that just joined and he's not that keen in what's going on here?
yeah. So early on in Starship's development, they wanted to practice essentially the landing maneuver of the upper stage
Yeah.
chip, and the prototypes that practiced those landings were labeled as serial number. So we
Ah.
had serial number 8, serial number 9, serial number 10, 11, and then we skipped 12, 13, and 14, and then just went straight to 15. Uh,
Yeah.
all of them blew
Because
up except for
development was
15.
so fast. Yeah, and we were really excited about 15.
Oh, yeah. And I was excited about all of them,
Yeah.
but
Oh yeah. The good old days when Felix streamed every of those test flights. Oh, this was amazing. Oh, he'll be actually back probably the upcoming week. But
yeah.
that's all I'm gonna say about this right now.
Yeah. And of course, uh, if you want to find these live streams easier, or to help other people find these live streams that might be interested in them, be sure to be sure to hit the like button, and if you haven't
Uh,
already, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can get all of the amazing space news updates as soon as we can get them to you. And in this case, if you like watching the live streams, yes, of course, give us a like and watch the next ones, because these are going to be a daily thing from now on
yeah.
here at Y.
Everyday
So
one. We have another host, so Nathan and me, and then we have Jordan hosting, and soon, most likely, Felix will jump in every now and
yes.
then.
And also, I do want to say real quick, we are still fairly early on in this. We've only been doing these live streams for a couple weeks now,
What is
and
my third live stream? What are you talking about?
okay, for me, I've only been doing them weeks. Uh, the and
So,
so a lot of
what he
the
wants to say is that we are awesome and we're even getting better for you.
exactly, yes.
Okay, so what else do we see here at
Yes.
Massie's?
Um,
Let me pick
so
your memory.
so what I've we can also see a lot of old test equipment essentially. So right next to the crane and underneath ship 31, so essentially between the two, we have what's called the nose cone cage or nose cone jail.
Yeah,
uh
the
it's
jail.
it's been called a few things, but essentially this was an old um test stand that was designed to make sure that a Starship's nose cone could withstand the immense forces of reentry. And surprisingly, SpaceX has not um, scrapped this yet. It We'll see what they end up doing with it, especially because it seems like Starship is pretty good whenever it comes to re-entering. But given the fact that they're going to want to keep upgrading and iterating, they might end up using it again. Although knowing SpaceX, they might also just change the design and launch it because
So
it's easier.
they might be putting version 2 into jail as well before they launch it.
Yes. So
Or no
for
skin.
that, yeah, we did see the new nose cone, so it is possible
Yeah.
that that one will be used in this jail. We'll have to see what ends up happening.
Do we know how much pressure it has to endure in this mean cage?
I'm not sure, but it would likely be
Even.
equivalent, if not more than it SpaceX would want to test
Yeah.
to make sure everything works well.
Yeah. Nice. Are you still there? Are you still with me?
Yes, I
Okay,
think.
perfect.
Let's just making sure.
I thought your memory gave up again for a second.
I did too.
Okay. So,
Ah,
oh yeah, we have
yeah.
more pictures here and a close up.
Yes.
And as said, tomorrow we'll get even more pictures from the
Yes.
air. And this is
We
a ground picture, and there you can see that we have
yes. So
more
this
installed.
ground picture is actually what I've
Yeah.
one of the important pictures that I've really been wanting to talk about because we can see that now SpaceX has started installing hydraulic rams on the Can Crusher 2.0. And what's interesting about this is we saw a piece of equipment earlier, a couple weeks ago, during a flyover that suggests the new uh s- essentially what will be tested in Can Crusher 2.0 will be Block 2 ships because it essentially had
Ships. You
sorry,
said ships?
Block 2 boosters.
Oh,
My
okay.
bad.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it would be very interesting if Block
Yeah.
2 ship had 35 engines.
I want to see
but
that.
but essentially the new piece has spots to test hydraulic rams up against 35 Raptor engines, or at least that's what the layout suggests.
Yeah.
So,
Because they have 35 grams,
yeah, essentially. Um, so
not
yes,
computer
actually,
RAM,
yeah. Well,
like your
I guess it's not
memory.
really essentially. It's
Yeah.
yes, they'll have 35 RAMs, or at least they'll have things that can hook up to 35 locations that would
Yeah.
be Raptor engines. So and it basically also helped us figure out what the layout of the new booster engines would be. And now seeing those installed means we are one step closer to actually seeing
So,
a Block 2 booster tested.
was this what you were talking about?
So that is a
Mm.
hydraulic ram,
Yeah,
but
I
in this
just wanted.
case, uh, so in this case, that is actually a ram that has already been used and likely
Yeah,
won't be used again. This was used to test B14.1, aka the punching bag,
yeah,
uh,
poor thing. Yeah,
and
just I wanted to show you the enormous size again. If you look at
yeah,
the people standing right next to it, so those are the proportions we're talking about. And they installed or are in the process of installing 35 of that to simulate the thrust of each Raptor 2 engine. Did I say that right?
yes, you did.
Yes. Okay.
So
Okay.
that's yeah. Well, watching all of this unfold is going to be incredible, and given the
Yeah.
fact that SpaceX is very rapidly um, going forward with this can crusher and essentially other Block 2 related things, it wouldn't surprise me if pretty soon we saw a Block 2 booster. I mean, for all we know, one of the boosters we've already seen could be a Block 2 booster.
Yeah.
Because if the only real difference between a Block 1 and a Block 2 booster is that 35 engines, if SpaceX decides to do 35 engines on the Block 2, that is, then it's possible that they already have that built and we just can't tell. Excuse me.
God
Sorry.
bless you, Mega
Thank you.
Ram.
But uh, because those they're called thrust pucks, which is essentially where the engine hooks to the booster itself. Because they're on the bottom of the booster, they're very hard to actually get a good look at. So it is possible that SpaceX just kind of snuck one past us that had 35 spots for 35 engines,
Oh, the
and we
thrust
just might
puck.
not know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we haven't seen anything like that, right?
Yeah. We've seen excuse me. We've seen
Yeah.
sections roll
Guess-
into the high bays, and we've seen things that are definitely thrust pucks roll into the high bay.
Yeah.
Um,
And we have the Star Factory going up, so
yeah,
we might even miss more in the close future, near future.
unfortunately, yeah. But as of now, we can still see some stuff rolling between the Star Factory and the Mega Bays,
Yeah.
and which is how we were able to catch the new V2 Starship nose cone. And we also saw the what's called the Pez dispenser. It's essentially the payload
Ah,
bay door, and we should have a photo of that actually if you want to
yeah,
look at that real
I
quick.
think so. Where is it? Where is it going? Oh, here it is. Okay, just give me 1 second. Is that what you were talking about? I
Uh,
don't see a patch
actually,
dispenser, but there
actually,
was.
that I believe. So this is actually kind of a mystery barrel right now. Um,
Ooh.
there's a few possibilities. We saw a new test tank being built in Mega Bay 2, which could theoretically be used in the Can Crusher 2.0. But
Ah,
the it appears that that's been stacked and nothing has really happened with this barrel section. It's kind of just stayed there. So the
so we
other
have just
possibility,
3 ring sections here, right? Or is there
yes,
someone? No, yeah, just 3.
yeah,
And what are those for?
I believe those are to hold a raceway, such as like cables and stuff that run down the side of the booster. I could be
Mm,
wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's to hold like raceways for
yeah,
electrical cables or for piping that needs to run along the booster and not get shaken apart. Um, but yeah, this could
yeah,
also be a just a barrel section for a new booster that's being built. I mean,
yeah.
perhaps this
Can't read
is
anything.
yeah. I did comb over every section of this barrel already, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's pretty hard to tell
So
what exactly it is. It's been there for a few days now, actually.
Felix is in the chat and he says that he thinks it's for booster 15.
That's kind of what I'm leaning towards as well, because that's kind of the best option
Yeah,
essentially, because it's just been sitting outside the Mega Bay 1, which is where they stack boosters, and
yeah,
we know they've been doing some work on Booster 15 in there, and
yeah,
Booster 15 could also I believe Booster 15 is speculated to be the first Block 2 booster. So seeing that roll in there would confirm a lot of things and would
That
be pretty
make a
cool.
lot of sense. So, and this
Yeah.
sadly, I just looked at the clock again. This sadly wraps up today's Space Roundup again. There was
Yes.
so much going on at Starbase that was our sole topic, but we're gonna get new pictures tomorrow, and then we can show
Yes.
you those on Tuesday. Remember to tune in here again tomorrow at 7 a.m. Starbase time with the Space Junkies. They're gonna give you a fantastic tour. And yeah, that was it about the Godzilla update. That's how we're gonna call Tower B now. And the V2 developments and a possible section of Booster 15. So thank you so much for tuning in. Nathan, do you have like a goodbye word?
I do have a few. I'd like to say just once again, as she said, thank you to everybody for tuning in. I hope everybody has an amazing afternoon, evening, night, morning, whatever time it is for you. I just hope you have a good time. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. All right.
Bye,
Thank you everybody
family.
for thank you everybody
Keep
for
loving
stopping by.
keep loving space.
Yes. Bye.